When working with such a wide range of clients from different upbringings, social classes, ages, educational levels, I'm always struck by how many of us limit ourselves because of our age. In a world increasingly dominated by subjective timelines and social norms, age is often treated as a limiting factor for what we can and can't do. We hear phrases like, you're too young to understand, or you're too old to start that now. And frequently, it isn't just what others say, it's our internal narrative that stops us. We say things to ourselves like, I can't do that, I'm too old to start something new, or one that I've heard really recently is, I'm too young. People will presume that I don't know what I'm talking about. Yet, as we witness people of all ages defying stereotypes and achieving remarkable things, it becomes clear that age is just a number. There is no right age to pursue dreams, take on new challenges, or redefine yourself. The only barrier is us, often because we have the mindset that others will judge us, whether that's for being too old or too young. If this resonates with you, maybe it's time to stop letting age hold you back. I'm Jo Banks. I've been a professional executive business coach for 15 years, and I'm sharing what I know. The social conditioning of age norms. Age norms are so deeply ingrained in our social structure that most of us adhere to them unconsciously. We're taught early on that certain milestones must be reached at certain times. For example, graduate college by 22, find a stable career by 30, buy a home, get married, retire by 65, 66. While these timelines may work for some, they do not reflect the vast diversity of human experiences, dreams, or goals. And yet, many people feel so pressured by these expectations, limiting themselves based on a subjective idea of what is appropriate for their age. Take, for example, the person who wants to change careers in their 40s or 50s, but holds back, fearing judgment of others. This is so common in my coaching practice. Many people fall into a career after leaving school or college only to have a midlife crisis in their 40s or 50s, realizing that they aren't in a career or even a job that they like, let alone love. And now they have these enormous responsibilities, families, mortgages, etc., that feel so huge and overwhelming that they feel completely stuck. Frequently, this is when depression, anxiety, or other mental health issues become heightened as the person now feels trapped in a never-ending cycle of work, sleep, repeat. However, when discussing a potential career change, the typical response I get is, oh, I'm too old now to start over. But that is rarely the case in my experience. I've worked with many people who have successfully transitioned careers. In fact, that's exactly what I did. I left my successful six-figure HR career at the age of 39 to set up my own coaching practice. Has it sometimes been tough? Heck yeah, but it's still a million times better than being stuck in a job I hated, which could have very easily been the case. On the other hand, consider a young adult who has a passion for entrepreneurship or wants to move up the career ladder, but hesitates because they feel too inexperienced or too young to be taken seriously. I had this with a client just last week. These fears stem from societal conditioning, not from an inherent truth about what we're capable of. The truth is that life doesn't adhere to a set schedule, and progress is definitely not linear. If we can dismantle these age-related constructs in our minds, we open ourselves up to endless possibilities. Age as a construct, redefining what it means to be young or old. Age is quite literally just a number. It's a way to measure the number of years a person has lived, but it doesn't dictate ability, passion, or potential. Throughout history, we've seen people break through so-called age barriers to achieve greatness. Vera Wang didn't become a fashion designer until she was 40. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. And on the other end of the spectrum, there are teenage entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg, who started Facebook at 19. Ben Francis established the global fitness brand Gymshark at just 19. These individuals did not let age define what they were capable of achieving. What these entrepreneurs had in common was not youth or advanced years, but passion, determination, and courage to pursue their goals regardless of societal norms. Age is simply a construct, a set of beliefs society imposes that has little to do with what individuals can accomplish. Why do we let age hold us back? One of the primary responses people give me, or that I see in my clients, is the fear of judgment. For younger people, the concern might be that they aren't experienced enough to be taken seriously. For older individuals, it's the fear that society will see them as past their prime or too late to start something new. This internalized fear can be paralyzing, but when we look at stories of successful individuals who defy age norms, we see that those who achieve great things are not those who follow conventional timelines. They're the ones who tune out of societal expectations and listen to their own inner calling. Unfortunately, many people stop themselves from taking that first step because they're worried about what other people are going to think. In a world where public media and public perception seem to have heightened significance, it can be tough to ignore the noise. But if you allow the judgment of others to dictate your actions, you risk spending your life chasing other people's expectations rather than your own dreams. The right time myth. Another key issue that I frequently see is the notion of waiting for the right time. Many people fall into the trap of thinking there is a perfect moment in life when everything will align perfectly and they'll finally have the green light to pursue their dreams. The problem with this thinking is that there is rarely a right time, if ever. So if there's one thing I've learned working with thousands of people, it's that life is messy. There will always be challenges, uncertainties, and unexpected events. If you're waiting for the stars to align, you'll likely find yourself waiting forever. There is no magic age or ideal time to chase a passion or take a risk. The right time is the moment you decide to start. Breaking the age barrier. If age is just a number, then the first step to breaking free from its constraints is to recognize the fact that whether you're 20, 40, or 70, you are not defined by the number of years you've lived. Your experiences, skills, and passions are far more important indicators of what you can achieve. So, number one, start with your passion. Whatever it is you want to do, whether that's starting a business, learning a new skill, or changing careers, the most important thing is that it excites you. When we're passionate about something, age becomes irrelevant. Focus on what drives you and let that guide your actions. Number two, challenge societal norms. Understand that the timeline society presents are arbitrary. They do not reflect the reality of human potential. If someone tells you that you're too old or too young to do something, recognize that they're projecting their own limitations onto you. You have the power to rewrite the rules for you. Number three, stop comparing yourself to others. One of the most dangerous things you can do is compare your life to someone else's. Someone else's timeline is theirs, not yours. If you constantly measure yourself against other people's milestones, you'll lose sight of what truly matters to you. Number 4, embrace failure. At any age, the fear of failure can hold you back. But failure is a natural part of growth. No matter how old you are, you will make mistakes. You will encounter setbacks. But these are not indications that you're too old or too young to succeed. They're simply a part of the process. One thing that I do say is that we don't learn from the things we do well. We learn from our mistakes and our failures. And I can't tell you how many things I've tried and failed at since establishing my coaching practice in 2009. As an entrepreneur, you have to keep moving. You have to keep up with the trends. And sometimes things just don't work out or have a short lifespan. I used to get really upset about this. I could put so much effort into a project for it to ultimately fizzle into nothing. Now, when that happens, I do a reframe. I know that I will have learned loads of new skills that will undoubtedly come in useful at some later date. The stories we tell ourselves. Last week, something really rather profound happened to me regarding this topic. One morning, I was looking in the mirror, criticizing my menopausal body and lamenting about how I used to look. Nice tight skin. Later that day, I went to the gym and a lady, probably 20 years older than me, a very glamorous and beautiful lady, stopped me and gave me some really wonderful compliments, which was incredibly kind of her. As we were finishing our conversation, she said, "Goodness, how I wish I was your age again." And that hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm in my mid-50s, and just that morning, I wasn't being kind to myself about how I look. And yet here was this wonderful lady wishing she was the same age as me. And there's definitely a lesson in that. Much of the fear surrounding age comes from the stories we tell ourselves. If you believe that being in your 50s means it's too late to pursue a passion project, then that belief will hold you back. Similarly, if you tell yourself that being in your early 20s makes you unqualified to take on certain challenges, that narrative will undoubtedly limit your opportunities. The truth is that the only real limitations are the ones we impose on ourselves. The stories you tell yourself can either be empowering or limiting, and it's up to you to decide which narrative to follow. The wrap up. When we let go of the idea that age is a limiting factor, we free ourselves to live more authentically and pursue the things that matter to us most. There is no right age to do anything. There is only the present moment and what you choose to do with it. Whether you're 18 or 80, the world is full of opportunities waiting for you to seize them. By shedding the fear of judgment and rejecting the notion that life's milestones must be hit at a certain time, we open ourselves up to a world where age is truly just a number. So stop letting age get in the way. Chase that dream, embrace that challenge, and remember that you are never too young or too old to do what you love. What next? If you have any topics you'd like me to cover or anything you'd like to add about today's video, please leave it in the comments section below. I read and respond to everything and really love interacting with you all. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. Finally, thank you to everybody who stays until the very end, and thank you so much for your support. It really means the world to me.